everyone. It's been a hot minute since I've been online. I do apologize for that. December was kind of hectic. I turned 42 last month, so I am now the answer to life, the universe, and everything. I also, on my birthday, got a new grandson, Ashton Edward, and he was a month early, but he's doing well now. He was born at 4 pounds 15 ounces, but he's up over 6 pounds now, and he's doing well. Christmas was great. I got to go down to Houston and visit my sisters. Spent Christmas Day with my mom. My younger brother Bud came down from Michigan to visit. New Year's Eve, I pretty much crawled into bed early, woke up in time to ring in the new year, and went back to sleep. And I promptly got sick. I'm pretty sure it was just the cedar because the cedar count went really high at the beginning of the year, and my mom's got acres of the stuff out at her place. And on top of it all, I know it makes me sound like a pansy, but I should not have taken up an outdoor hobby right before the weather got cold. I am not good with cold weather. I don't know why. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, and I used to love the cold, but not so much anymore. Definitely don't deal with the snow. Definitely not a fan of any weather below 70 degrees. But hopefully I will be getting out back to my mom's place pretty soon with the telescopes. I did get the camera fixed. The lens on it popped off, and I took it to Precision Camera down in Austin, and they were able to fix it for me, and it was totally worth it because I don't have the little splotches on there anymore. Since I don't have the telescope hooked up, I do have the Saturn V tour video queued up for you guys. I thought you might enjoy it. I haven't had a chance to get back down to the Johnson Space Center, but I plan on heading back down there probably later this month. Actually, I have a trip down to Houston on February 8th to visit my sister Lisa, and on the 9th I'll probably take some more video down at the Space Center. So hopefully I will have some fresh video for you guys while I'm hiding from the cold weather. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to queue up that Saturn V tour video for you, and I hope you enjoy it.
Scope that went up. Actually, it was an intercontinental ballistic missile. We just unscrewed the head. So you want to be famous? Sit on this. 15 minutes, that's all it is. That's all it takes, 15 minutes. It's amazing. I watched that. I remember watching that in school when it was launched, May 5th, 1961. And
that was which one again? The Saturn?
Mercury Redstone.
Mercury Redstone.
Several years later, Building 1, the 9-story building, I was getting off the elevator with Alan Shepard. So I had my 30 seconds of fame. I'm going to go in 15 minutes, that's all it is. That's all it takes, 15 minutes. So amazing, I watched that. I remember watching that in school when it was launched, May 5th, 1961. And
that was which one again? The Saturn?
Mercury Redstone.
Mercury Redstone.
Several years later,
Holy!
Building. I was getting off the elevator with that. So I had my 30 seconds of fame.
That's amazing.
15 minutes, that's all it is. That's all it takes.
It's more like a whoa mama.
So amazing. I watched that. I remember watching that in school. That's a VFR. Big rocket. And
that was which one again? The Saturn?
Mercury Redstone.
Mercury Redstone.
Several years later,
Holy!
I was getting off the elevator with that. So I had my 30 seconds of fame.
That's amazing.
Oh, is that
Where they used to build satellites.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I work right next to it. Our clean room is now where they build
Oh, is
satellites.
that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
rock.
That was which one again? The Saturn?
George Abbey is there now. George Abbey is is former. Anyway, guys,
Holy!
I was getting off the elevator. So I had my 30 seconds of fame.
That's amazing.
In the world, this Apollo 17, December 7th, was the last time we went to the moon. The program was canceled after that, so it was Apollo 18, 19, and 20. We have 3 of these. This one here, one's in Huntsville, and one's in Florida. This one was further along as far as developing. Dr. Werner von Braun was a brainchild of this. Quite frankly, if we didn't have Dr. Werner von Braun, we wouldn't have gone to the moon in the way that we did. That's an F1 engine. That's 1.5 million pounds of pushing power. There's 5 of them, 7.5 million pounds. It burnt fuel 15 tons a second. Propelled the spacecraft to a speed of 6,230 miles an hour. It went 38 to 42 nautical miles. 42 miles downrange. Within 2 minutes, this whole thing was empty of fuel. 2 minutes, and it falls back into the ocean. So you don't want to be out fishing that day. That's when you play golf.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's non-recoverable. Isn't that almost unbelievable? 2 minutes. Who's making all that noise? He wants to stay. We're gonna come this way, guys. This is the fire I told you about. Okay, great. Okay, girls. Girls, here we go. Get together. Get together, ready? Sit together. Stand up, just like that. On 3, everybody has to say, what is it? Tomatoes or cheese?
Tomatoes.
Cheese.
Okay, let's go. Come on. Could you take my picture of me?
We'll just stand right here. This is the 3rd stage. There's pyrotechnic. There's a shroud that goes around here. Obviously, it was taken off so that you could view it better. There's pyrotechnic explosive bolts that separate these stages. In 2 minutes, this is spent. It's out of fuel, so you don't want to carry it with you. You want to get rid of it. It's extra weight, you get rid of it. You use those pyrotechnic explosive devices to do that. And we've never had a failure with Saturn V or those pyrotechnics. They were just 100% foolproof. I think the failure rate was like 1 in 50,000 or something. And it was always a redundancy. These are J2 engines. They're much smaller.
Hey, your shoes light up too.
He's gonna be looking all over now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's a J2 engine. Look how complicated that is. Apollo 13, this is a problem. The very first problem they had was that engine right there. That's a J2 engine. We don't talk much about that, but it's a condition called pogo oscillation. Whenever you have pogo oscillation, it'll shake the spacecraft apart. And obviously it's not a good outcome. So you shut that engine off and you leave these 4 J2 on 33 seconds longer. Remember, you're not going high enough and fast enough. You're trying to get to orbit. So you leave those on 33 seconds longer. I said that's Apollo 13's first problem, but you have to think about it. It was named Apollo 13. It was launched 13:13 Houston Zulu time. 13 minutes after that explosion in their oxidizer tank, they started to vent oxygen. And if you really think about it, the original launch date of Apollo 13 was 4/11/70. If you add a 411 and a 7, I mean, you can't make this up. Come on, guys. This is historic. You guys want to go in there? Take a look at it?
Oh, yeah.
We'll try to see if we can get that on the schedule. This Gene Kranz, Glenn Lundy, and Gerald Griffith. This is the room that controlled at Saturn V. It's launched in Florida, but once it clears the tower, Houston takes over. This is Apollo 13. That's the accident that happened. We sent 3 astronauts to the moon twice. 2 astronauts went to the moon twice and walked once. 1 astronaut went to the moon twice and never walked. And that was Jim Lovell. He flew on Apollo 8 in December of 1968 around the moon, and then subsequently on Apollo 13. And ironically, if Neil Armstrong woke up with an Excedrin headache and said, "I don't think I'm going to go today," Jim Lovell was his backup. He would have been the first man to walk on the moon. How ironic. Come on down this way, guys.
Hey, y'all, come on, babies. Y'all come around here.
I was going to photobomb. This is the 3rd stage. That's a J2 engine. That's the only engine that lit twice. You lit that once to finally put you in orbit. Now you're in orbit. You're free falling. You're traveling 17,500 miles an hour, 28,000 kilometers. You're in orbit. That's where you want it to be. So you shut it off. But that's not really where you want it to be, because where you want to be is over there. That's the moon. You're in an Earth orbit. And the only way that you're going to get over there is you need external velocity. You've got to go faster than 17,500 miles an hour to break away from the Earth's gravitational pull. I will tell you that that's where the lunar module was, right there. See the cavity? See the cavity? That's where the lunar module was. So now you're waiting for mission control to give you the go for a TLI, which is translunar injection. Once you get that, you light that. If that doesn't light, you're not going over there. You're going back home.
Oof.
So once you light that, that kicks you out in 25,000 miles at the away from the Earth, and now you're traveling toward the moon, and the moon starts doing this.
Oh, you know what? Actually, what's this one?
You're like 5,000 miles an hour. But you got to be careful, because at some point in time, you could slingshot the moon and end up at the sun. That's not a good day. So there's an engine back here. It's called the CSM, Command and Service Module. You'll light that at a precise time, and that'll slow you. It'll put you in an elliptical orbit around the moon. You'll refine that orbit. 2 people climb into the lunar module. 1 person orbits, while the other 2 people go down to the surface. And you know the rest of the story. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, then we're gonna come down this way now. Guys, take your photo.
One question.
Sure.
The component in the center of that, is that just a lifting
This,
bracket?
yeah, that was for lifting.
Right.
This is configured. There's a shroud that goes around this too. This is just to show you the distance. 363 feet, 110 meters.
Yeah, because I'm just seeing casters on that.
Yeah,
going.
no,
That's
no,
one of them.
no, that's just for...
Yeah.
So what's another question?
And inside it's just fuel, pretty
It's
much.
just fuel.
Thanks.
All this is round oxidized. Well, the first one is nitrogen, oxygen, and RP1 is kerosene. Second stage is liquid oxygen and hydrogen. And then, but it's just fuel. But to think, in 14 minutes, all of this is gone. Nothing's recovered. That's why when you see what SpaceX is doing, he's launching a Dragon with a Falcon, with the Dragon up top with Falcon 9. Will he'll go up, the capsule will go on, and the Falcon 9 will come back and be reused. That's phenomenal. That's exactly, you have to reuse it.
I'm kind of sad that the SLS is going to throw away 4 shuttles.
I'm sorry?
I'm kind of sad that the SLS is going to throw away 4 shuttle engines. That's my beef.
Yeah. Those RS-25 shuttle engines, SSMEs, are very reliable, and you know, you say to yourself, we don't have to start over, so we're using those on the SLS. We're just modifying them. The difference is, to make them more powerful, is the solids that you're strapping on. SRBs, it's just like this. You could, at the very last minute, shut it down. T-minus 6 seconds, the SSME Space Shuttle main engines ignite. At T-minus 0, the SRBs, solid rockets, light. When you light those, you're going somewhere. If you want to or not, you're going somewhere. They're unthrottleable. You can't shut them out. And that's the difference. That's why it's so much more powerful, is because of the SRBs. Any other questions? Or? Okay, so we're good. I'll just point this out to you. This is this was outside. Actually, that's the largest door in the building. So obviously not the ship in a bottle, you know. So they built the building around it. If it ever has to go out for maintenance, it's too late. You can't do it. But yeah, this is the launch escape system right here. That's a solid. This is where the crew would be. You have a crew of 3 crew members up there. In the event of an emergency, this would light. See this? The distance? This is separate. This is the only thing that comes back to Earth, is that. Is a capsule. So in the event of an emergency, 3 minutes, 18 seconds on the 19 miles, you're up there with their hand on the abort. And if you abort, you're going to light that. And that's going to pull that away to a capsule, up to an altitude, away from this. This is going to go away. Parachutes come out of this, and it comes back to Earth, and you save the crew. On the space shuttle, you don't have that capability. There's no out on the space shuttle. Does anyone have any questions on that? I've seen this light, and I can tell you it's, there's nothing compares to this thing when it lights.
You saw us above one.
This is where the lunar module is, and it opens up like a clamshell. And inside it is the lunar module. So when this launches, this goes away at a certain time. This flies out, it turns around and flies back. You dock with the lunar module, and you extract it. And then you go to the moon. Any other questions? Okay, so we're gonna head out, guys.
Hey everyone. I hope that wasn't too boring for you. I actually enjoyed it a lot when I was going on the tour. Before I sign off for the night, I wanted to show you something that I bought myself for my birthday last month. I know everything's digital nowadays, but I'm a huge fan of half-price books, and I find a lot of cool stuff there. And I found this astronomy pack, and it's really cool because it's got this neat little glow-in-the-dark planisphere, and you're getting a reflection of the monitor there. Ah, there we go. And you can spin it, and you can see the different constellations and stuff, and it glows in the dark, which is kind of fun. And it also comes with maps. Maps are fun. We've got a moon map. So when you open this up and you unfold it, you get a big map of the moon. And there's also a map of star charts. And there's also a book on stars and planets. Like I said, I know this stuff is all digital nowadays, but I still enjoy having stuff in my hands when I go out, and it's really cool. I like it a lot. So, again, I will hopefully be back probably in 2 weeks. Again, I don't like the cold much at all, and until the weather warms up, I'm probably not going to get to my mom's house. Maybe I'll try to get out there. I'll keep y'all posted on the Facebook page, and y'all have a good evening. Night.